Hello everybody, my name is CulBlu and I'm bringing out this video of me talking about some board games, and this is going to be a updates video, just kind of talking about some games that I hope to get some playthroughs of here on the channel in the future, near future, far future, distant future, I don't know, call it what you want, but I'm going to go ahead and stand up for this one, and let me get our background music started before I get going, because you know I love my background music here. There we go. Alright, we got that running. And yeah, let's go ahead and talk about what we have on the table. So what we have on the table is we have a number of board games, and I didn't count. Oh, I should probably count it. Hold on, let's go ahead and count. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20 games, and some of these are expansions. I'm just gonna scooch this over a little bit, but but yeah, let's go ahead and talk about it. So I don't want this video to be super ultra long. I know I like long videos, but I feel like this video is naturally gonna be longer. So I'm aiming for hopefully under an hour, but we'll see. So essentially, I'm just going to talk about all these games. Some of these games I've done playthroughs of already, like World Order and Core Discovery. Some of these games I'm pretty familiar with, but I just never did a playthrough of on the channel. I say I guess Great Western Trail is the only game that qualifies for that. Maybe Heat is a little bit, and Pirates of Maracaibo. But I'll talk about all these games kind of in passing as I go, and I'll try to show the back of the boxes so that way people can kind of see, oh, what's that game about? I want to see more about it. Because I know just looking at the side of the box, you can't really see much. So we'll workshop it as we go. But for the most part, we're going to start here with the first game. These games are not in any order. They're not in any particular order about like, I like this game more than that game. That's not what's happening here. What's happening here is these are games that I looked at on my shelf like, okay, I do want to do a playthrough of these ones eventually. I just don't know what order. And as I say that, there's a few more that are still on my shelf that I didn't put on the table, like Clans of Caledonia, with the Industrial expansion. I've already done a playthrough of that one. I just have not posted that video yet at the time of me recording this video right now. But that's coming along, and I feel like there's another game. Oh no, I did another playthrough of Warfighter Vietnam. But yeah, at any rate, let's go and talk about the games we have at our table here. So starting off with the 51st State, so I'm going to try to use our 2 cameras because I do have multiple cameras here. So here's all the other games over there. But the 51st State, this game is a tableau builder game, and a lot of this will be from recollection. So if I say anything inaccurate about the game, just know that I probably haven't played the game in a while. So I do need to get some playthroughs under my belt first before I do a video, of course, and I will go ahead and prepare accordingly before doing my solo playthroughs. But 51st State is basically a tableau builder. It is a remake of the Imperial Settlers game, if I'm not mistaken, and then they remade that again into another series, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know what the other series were. I don't know what the full life cycle of this entire game was, but I do know that this is one that I was able to get, I think, at my friend local game store. I got the Ultimate Edition because I had it there, so I had everything in it. I was like, heck yeah, give me everything. And I was able to play it. I enjoyed the experience, and I do want to do a playthrough of it eventually. I don't really have anything to say outside of like whether I liked it a lot or didn't like it a lot. I won't say that for my reviews, but just know that 51st State is definitely on my list. Right. Oh man, I don't know where I'm going to put these games after I'm done with them. Okay, so going back over to our overview, and I'm probably going to spend more time over here on the other camera over there instead of over here, but I'll try to flip back and forth. So Great Western Trail is the next one. Great Western Trail is a game that is pretty entertaining. I like it because I think it does some really cool things with its multiple players, just kind of quick turns moving around, and you also get to do some little city building things. Again, I'm not trying to make this a comprehensive review or like this is my ultimate feeling about the game, but I will slip in things like that. But I played this one a number of times on Boardgame Arena. And I've also played it a few times solo in person, and I got spanked. So I want to get a little bit better at playing a solo before I do a playthrough recorded. But essentially, you're just kind of moving around this little trail. You're building little cities, and you're trying to get a set of cards, bring it up to the train station so you can ship that, get some points, get some money, just kind of do all your cowboy things. Pretty fun game. I think that this is one of the few games. I mean, there's another game on here that I think will also work with the thing I'm about to say. This is one of the few games that I think max player count might actually be fun. And for those who don't know about me, I usually don't like playing board games at max player count. So Great Western Trail is kind of beating against the tide on that one. So there's that one. Next on the list here is Sankore. Sankore, and I'm assuming I pronounced that correctly, but Sankore is a game that I've played with Bear on Bear's channel. So Bear's FNG Raleigh NC, or I think it's FNG Bear, whatever it is. You can find his channel. It's not that hard. But we've done a playthrough of Sankore, and it's 2-player playthrough. It was our first playthrough ever. We were learning, and it's a lot pretty rough around the edges, but long story short, the experience was entertaining enough for me to say, hey, you know, I do want to do a solo playthrough of this. So I do have the other games in this series that are on its way. So I did get those in a sale recently from Osprey Games, and those games were Ayar, maybe Ayar, Ayar, Children of the Sun, and the other one is Merv. Just 1 second, I'm trying to get the full title. I think it's Merv Silk Road. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, I have those games. I didn't realize it was a series or a trilogy, so it's gonna be entertaining to kind of play those solo, see how they do, and compare them against each other. But I'm definitely want to do another playthrough of this one solo for the channel. So look out for that one in the future. As far as this one goes, it's a lot of tableau. Well, I don't say tableau building. You're kind of moving your pieces around the board and trying to put your markers in certain places to get yourself more advantage. And I don't know. It felt like a resource conversion engine builder type deal going on. Don't quote me on any of those things. But I found it entertaining, and I do want to try to do a solo playthrough of that. Next on the list here is going to be Heat, Pedal to the Metal. This one is one that I reluctantly put on my list. It is literally only on my list because I have pretty much all the expansions. I really don't know why I've gotten every single expansion for this game, but I have every single expansion for this game, and it is one that I'm also probably going to do the solo, probably going to do or try to do like a campaign playthrough. There's a few Board Game Geek files that exist out there that have people doing setting up their own campaign, so you can play through like a series of races and have a whole bunch of fun. So that is, sorry, I'm just gonna flip it over here. That's what's got me excited about the game. As far as the game goes, I have played this on Board Game Arena a few times. The first few times I played it, I didn't understand the rules and I had a trash time. And then over time, it kind of grew on me a little bit. So that is one of the things that I think. We'll see if it survives. We'll see if it survives the critiques, I should say, when it comes to a review time. But I'm looking forward to trying to get a playthrough. Like I said, for some reason I've been purchasing all the expansions, and I have the Legends one, which gives you more variety in the solo. So I'm looking forward to that eventually. Next up is City of the Great Machine. This one was out of nowhere. I went to one of my board game stores that kind of sells board games secondhand, and they had this plus like 4 of the or 3 of the expansions. 2 of them were like Kickstarter exclusive expansions, in shrink wrap, unopened, and I was able to get them all for a reasonable price. I don't remember what the exact pricing was, but I was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll go ahead and get it. It seemed like a cool game, and I could play it solo. Nice little steampunk pandemic-like, or seemed like a pandemic-like, trying to manage juggling a bunch of plates. But yeah, it seemed like a really cool game, and I'm looking forward to also getting back into this one, because I remember when I first got it, I was like, oh yeah, excited. I sat down, set it up, played it, and I was like, oh, that was entertaining. I played it again, and then I just kind of didn't do anything with it video-wise. So I do want to try to get back into the flow of relearning this game, getting back on table, and then I don't know if it was something maybe I just kind of cooled on or whatever, but I want to give this one a shot, and I want to do a playthrough of this one, even if it's with a few friends and not just pure solo. So next up is going to be Core of Discovery. So this one, I have done playthroughs of this one already. For some reason, I've been targeting to try to get a single playthrough of all of the different expansions. So I do want to get a playthrough of the Fog expansion. I think it's the last one I haven't done. And once I do get a playthrough of the Fog expansion, then my set will be complete until Off the Page Games comes with another expansion. Core Discovery is a game I enjoy a lot. I have a love-hate relationship with this game, mostly because I will always rag on it. I will always rag on this topic for this game specifically, because I feel like there's so many things you could have done with the theme. The comic book that this is based on is called Manifest Destiny. It does a lot of really cool things about making you think about the concept and the context of Lewis and Clark's expedition to the West to basically, break treaties, murder, genocide, and all that fun stuff. I say fun very hyperbolically, of course. But it kind of makes you think about those and reckon with those, even with the Weird West and, different like Sasquatches and Fizzones showing up and all this stuff. So I really wanted the board game to do that, and the board game doesn't. So I'm a little bit frustrated about that. But I've already done a review on this game. I've already talked about it and ragged on it. People at Off the Page Games probably heard me talk about it a million times. I love the mechanics in this game so much. And again, brilliant, nice little Minesweeper with physical Minesweeper. I just think it works so well, and I have every single expansion, print all the expansions so far. I know they have a Kickstarter that's going on right now for their Core Discovery Duo, which is the follow-up to this game. I'm not that interested in that one, but they have more maps. So I'm looking forward to trying those out, those new maps. But for the most part, this one's definitely going to get a playthrough, probably more sooner rather than later, because I kind of want to jump back into that game because I remember that being a phenomenal experience, and I want to finish the set. That's right, finish the fight, says Master Chief. Okay, next up is going to be World Order. So World Order is going to be one that I, man, let me just go through a little bit of background for this one. I got this board game from the Kickstarter. I forgot I backed it, and it showed up. And then Bear and we did a playthrough with some friends, and we didn't post that because we didn't do the rules right. But we did post our review, and it was pretty fun. Then I went back and I said, okay, I want to do a full solo playthrough with the Automas. That was a week. That was a week. Let me tell you, of me playing the rules wrong and learning and all that stuff. So long story short, I have a good grasp of the mechanics, and I remember the things that were ingrained into my brain because I played them so wrong that on stream I had to say, oh man, I'm only 6 hours in, but I need to do the whole playthrough over again because I bungled the rules here. So that goes along with what I say is, yes, reading is essential, critical thinking is also critical, so stay in school, kids. But also, I do want to do another playthrough of this one to try to see if I can take the lessons that I've learned from my playthroughs with my friends, from my playthroughs solo, from my bungles that I had on stream and off stream, and on recording, off recording, and try to apply those and see how I can do with all that newfound knowledge. And also, it seems like the forums have been still popping with people talking about different strategies and stuff. I haven't really dug into the strategy people have talked about, but it's cool to see that everybody universally agrees that if you don't do anything to put your hand in the cookie jar of other people, then you will have a bad time, especially playing solo. So yeah, I'm interested to jump back into this one. So this one is like Core Discovery, maybe more sooner than later. But again, I'm not making any specific promises or commitments. But World Order is definitely on the list. I do want to give a special shout out to Hegemony. I thought about doing a Hegemony solo playthrough. It's not on the table because I didn't, well, one, I didn't have space, and two, I'm not pulling it off the shelf. But I do want to try to do a solo playthrough of Hegemony. I don't know if I'm going to record it, but I want to be able to do that comparison of like Hegemony solo versus World Order solo. That's all I'll say about that one. Okay, moving on. We have Inventors of the South Tigris. So this one, and I'll bring on Wayfarers of the South Tigris at the same time. These two are games that I kind of got on a whim. I think it was because of the Humble Bundle that gave you the expansions for this one and Sarkadian's First Light and the other stuff. But I heard really, really, really good things about Inventors of the South Tigris. I heard it was very crunchy, a lot going on, a lot of like, you know, trying to move things around and maneuver things. So I'm looking forward to trying this one out. I have no context for how this game even plays. So that's going to be fun to kind of dive into, learn from the rule book, and then try to apply my gamer knowledge to see how I do. But I am excited about this one because, and when I say I heard people talk about it, I mean I watched a video where the publishers, not the publishers, who was it? Somebody who developed the expansions for this one. They were just talking about like what they were trying to do with the expansions and stuff and such. And I think they were talking about Inventors was like so complex that they could only add superpowers or something. But looking forward to this one, especially with like the artwork and the theme and everything. Like this is kind of hitting on a lot of cylinders. So I want to give this one. I want to get that one learned up properly and get that a nice playthrough. Wayfarers of the South Tigris, like I said, similar to Inventors, maybe less enthusiasm about this one than Inventors for me personally. But I do want to try to give it a playthrough so I can kind of see how the Wayfarers series were. I never got into the Raiders series, Raiders of the North, and what was the other one? The East Kingdoms series. I never got into those. I was like, I'm not playing all those games. I ain't got time for that. But the theme of the Inventors of South Tigris seems to have grabbed me a lot more, and I'm a lot more interested in that. And this is like kind of the third or fourth shot at the apple. So I was like, okay, let's see how the designers of this series have taken their lessons learned and pulled them forward. So I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to Inventors for sure, but I'm pseudo looking forward to this one too, so it's on the table. You may see a playthrough of this one eventually, and we'll see how this one pans out once we get there. All right, continuing on our list. Next up, we have Mage Knight. Woo, Mage Knight, yeah. So, as a person who does YouTube videos on the internet, where people see them, it is with board games, it is a rite of passage, unfortunately, for solo board gamers to eventually play through Mage Knight. Fine, I will accept my rite of passage. Now, My jokes and hyperbolicness aside, Mage Knight is definitely a game that I really did not like when I first got. I got this game really early in my board game career, and by that I mean when I was starting to buy more board games besides like the stuff you buy on Target shelves. And I played it and I was like, Shia Legends of a Drift System or Xia Legends of a Drift System is a better game, so I played that instead. And then I kind of circled back recently, really recently, like within the last 2 months, and played a few solo games of this. And I was like, oh, this is actually kind of hitting. This is kind of nice. This is kind of feels good. So, you know, we'll give it a shot. We'll give it a shot. And I'll preserve my judgments temporarily so I can get a playthrough, maybe playthrough or two, because I also maybe want to do some of the Apocalypse Dragon stuff, because I had that expansion for some reason. Again, I have all the expansions for this. I don't know why. But I guess I'm a collector at this point. But it was an enjoyable enough experience that I said, okay, maybe I'll give it another shot and try to see, maybe my taste in board gaming have changed and evolved over time. But Mage Knight is a game where you're essentially kind of open world, walking around in the sandbox, kind of punching things as a knight who does magic, a Mage Knight. And you're trying to conquer different locations, you're trying to fight different baddies, you're trying to explore dungeons, you're trying to basically just survive while playing your hand of cards. It's an interesting kind of card play mechanic, like a deck building. I guess deck building, it fits in this one. Deck building, but also like hand management type stuff where you're trying to move through with the cards in your hand and try not to die, like I said before, and achieve your goals. So this one has been a lot of fun when I played it recently, and I played over the course of a weekend. I had like a 3-day weekend, and I started on Friday and ended on Sunday. I think I played 3 games total between those while looking at rules and learning, and it was entertaining. So we'll see how my solo playthrough goes whenever I do that eventually. I probably will try to delay that as long as possible though, because I just want to be stubborn. I was like, I don't want to do the rite of passage. I don't want to. Next up is going to be Small City Deluxe Edition. I do have all the expansions for this one too. Alba Vier, I'm a huge fan of Alba Vier's games, most specifically the Clinic series, which is up next here. But I keep trying to learn how to play Small City, and I keep not learning how to play it. I don't know what it is. Something about when I set this game up on the table, my brain just says, I don't want to learn anymore. It's been a journey. Like every time I put it on the table, it never fails. It's like, I can go be playing, you know, my game system, or I could be watching some YouTube videos instead. So I don't know what it is about this game, but I'm gonna fight through it. I'm gonna push through it because I want to do the city building game. I've heard some reasonable things about this experience for city building, more so multiplayer. I don't know how the single player holds up, and I don't see like a billion videos on the internet about it, so it makes me curious. Maybe the solo mode is trash. I don't know. But I am looking forward to trying to jump into this one. Again, this is a city building type game. Like I said, I do have all the expansions. I think there's 4 expansions. Maybe 3 expansions. Hold on. I think I can see them from over here. Yeah, there's 4 expansions. There's the archaeology was the last one. And then they have, so they have fall, spring, winter, summer. Don't quote me on those. I probably got that out of order. Or maybe it's spring, summer, winter, fall, or fall, winter. That makes more sense. But I have all those expansions, and I do want to kind of give this game a shot. I think this game is modular, just like Clinic is, and I like modular style games. But like I said, this one's kind of a city building thing. You kind of build your board, get your city built up. There's some rules you got to follow for placement and try to achieve your goals, earn money, don't go broke, score the most points, so on and so forth. So interesting concept overall. It's a game that I need to sit down and actually learn. So speaking of Clinic, continue with Alba VR here. We do have 3 games for Clinic. These are 3 expansions. For those who don't know, on my channel, I have done playthroughs of just about every expansion for Clinic. And what I try to do in those videos, which is very much not recommended at all by me as somebody who's trying to do it and by the internet too, is I try to take all the expansions from one expansion, or try to take all the modules from one expansion or extension, and I try to throw them all into one game and then see if, or just kind of play through it and then do a review afterwards, get some commentary and things. So for this one, the 69th blue and the 69th pink expansion, I want to do a playthrough of those, and then the 7th expansion, I want to do a playthrough of that. And I do have, or I have Kickstarter backed the big box expansion, which is basically just a big box, and I think it has 1 or 2, maybe 3 or 4 modules in it, but it's supposedly a storage for everything, and I'm probably not going to use that storage, but I did want the module, so I backed it. So there I am. So these extensions, I do want to do playthroughs of these eventually so I can add and complete the series for my Clinic stuff. I have done the 6th expansion, was the last one I did, but I need to do the 69th pink, 69th blue, and 7th extension. And then somebody suggested that I do the campaign playthrough for that one. I'm not committed at all to do the campaign playthrough for Clinic. I think it's a fine game, but I don't know if I want to play that much of it with such silliness continuously going on. Cool. For those who want to know as well, Clinic ranked number 2 on my list of all-time favorite games. Clinic with, it wasn't base game Clinic, it was one of the expansions. I think it was like the second expansion, or maybe it was the first. One of the expansions ranked as like number 1. So what I'm trying to say is I like Clinic a lot. I just don't like Clinic enough to want to play through a campaign version of it. So take that how you will. Citizens of the Spark. This is a game that I got kind of on a whim. I get a lot of my games on a whim. I go to a board game store, see something on the shelf, say, what's that? And then maybe I'll buy it, maybe I won't. Depends on how the finances are doing at the time. And the finances were doing okay at this time. Although it was a big bullet to bite because I think this game was like $50. And I was like, oh, why is it $50? Jeez. But I could play it solo, so sure, it saves it. But Citizens of the Spark, I've had this game on my shelf for a little bit. I did do a few solo playthroughs, and I do recall that experience being reasonable and flowed relatively well. I had a lot of questions about how interactions work, so I need to go do my homework before I do a playthrough video of this on stream, of course. But this game is a tableau building game. Essentially, you have a set of cards, and you're trying to build your groupings, and the more of your grouping you have, the more powerful abilities you get, and you're trying to compete against your opponents to try to get the most sparks or to get the most points, from what I recall. And yeah, this is entertaining. The biggest thing about this one that I'm really excited about is that it has a lot of different combinations. So you have a lot of different citizens that you can choose from. You can play different combos, and just like something like Shallow Sea, you can really mix the game up just by changing what characters you have in the game and what characters you don't have in the game. So super excited about learning this one and playing it, and doing some solo playthroughs of this one. And I say some because I might try to do multiple solo playthroughs, but we'll see, because I think it is a relatively short game. All right, next up, Astro Knight's Eternity. So I have played this one a few times, have not played it on stream. I think I played it on stream on Bear's channel, but the video didn't survive, as in we forgot to save it. So long story short, Astro Knight's Eternity is a hero deck builder, fighter, power up. I don't know how to explain it. I should probably look these things up before I talk about them, huh? But in this one, you pick your characters, and then you basically go fight against a big bad, and you're trying to take out the big bad. That's kind of how it is. I like to make it similar or explain it in my brain. Sorry, let me try to figure out my words. In my brain, the explanation works best by saying this is like Sentinels on the Multiverse, but without the Sentinels on the Multiverse-ness, if that makes sense. For those who have played Sentinels on the Multiverse, you probably think that's a terrible analogy. I agree, it's kind of a trash analogy. But this is kind of like you're playing the heroes, you're trying to play your cards and try to fight a big bad. I mean, it's kind of where the similarities begin and end with Sentinels on the Multiverse. But I do have everything for this one. For this version of the game, I do not have, oh man, what's the other one? I don't have the original series. I decided to get the Astro Knight's Eternity side instead of getting the rest of it, like Aeon's End and all that stuff, because I was like, I don't want the Aeon's End, I don't want the incredible stuff. Like, I just want this. Just give me one complete set. So I got everything for this one, and I have all the different villains. So we'll see how that pans out as time goes. But for now, just note that I do want to try to do a playthrough of this one. Also, one interesting thing about this that I thought was really cool was that you don't shuffle your discard. Instead, when you need to draw a card and you're out of cards in your deck, you just flip your discard over, which is so weird. It's so weird. Anyway, so cool creative stuff being done with this one. Looking forward to getting that one on the table eventually and doing a video playthrough of that one, but I got to go back and relearn the rules because I haven't played it in a long while. Speaking of one I haven't played in a long while, Ezra and Nehemiah. Man, I have so many great things to say about this game. I think this game ranks number 5 on my list of top board games in my collection. So I do have some high regards for this game, and this game has not existed in my collection for nearly as long as some of these other games I've already shown. I can say for sure 51st State has been in my collection much longer than Ezra and Nehemiah has, but this game has already shot up to like the top for me. So I enjoy my experience with this one. I've only really played 2-player. Actually, no, I take it back. I have played solo a few times, and I think the experience solo was kind of meh. Don't quote me on that, but we'll do a playthrough and we'll do a review. We'll do that sometime in the future, so we can go all talk about that and gawk at it together at some other point in the future. All right, so that is Ezra and Nehemiah. Oh, also, sorry, I forgot to show the back of the box. It's basically this game is much bigger than the box, which is a little disconcerting. But you basically have a map board here. You have walls on the outer edge that you can try to build up so you can earn victory points that way. You have the technology tree that you can try to get your scholars to go up, so you can get technology and get points that way. You also have a dedication area where you can like sacrifice resources, so you can try to get up and get more benefits and pay less money and food. There's a whole bunch of different ways to interact with this game. This game, I think somebody explained it as you took like 7 mechanics from different Garfield games or Griffith from different games in this like line of games, and you kind of stapled them all together. And they kind of took the best of those mechanics, best lessons learned, and put it into this game. I think that's an accurate explanation of it. As somebody who has played Hadrian's Wall and did not like Hadrian's Wall, I know, quite a sin for somebody who likes solo board gaming, does not like Hadrian's Wall. Look at me, a hypocrite. But I did not like Hadrian's Wall, it was very boring. But for this one, I can see where that comes from, because they've had a lot of time, a lot of other games like Scarabera, Hadrian's Wall. I guess at this point Anarchy's out now. And a few other games that exist in this family of games, this antiquity family history games, that people really love, and they kind of took some mechanics from those games, of course not Anarchy, because I think that came out after this, and they kind of threw it into this one. So if that's what somebody said, I believe them is what I'm trying to say. So Ezra and Nehemiah, looking forward to doing a solo playthrough of this one in the future. Again, it was ranked pretty high on my own personal list, so that lets you know what I feel about the game before I even do a playthrough or review. Next up is Deckers. So I have done a playthrough of Deckers. More specifically, I've done a playthrough of Renegade way back in the past. I've done a playthrough of Renegade way back in the past, which I should have bought over here, but it's on the shelf, so it'll be fine. It'll just live over there. And it was a game that I thought was entertaining, but the learning curve was more complex because of the wording of the game, if that makes sense. What I mean by that is like it used words that didn't mean anything on the surface, and you had to kind of like study and understand the translation of what the word is to what the mechanic is. And once you got that connection, it was great. You could just flow in and just do the things. Like for instance, like you had to take a contaminant and you need to upload it into the server. And then once you upload into the server, you can use your install action to take 3 contaminants and make them into one program, and that program will allow you to kind of generate more of those contaminants. Like what did you say to me? What did you say to me? And I want to clarify for those who heard me say those words and eyes glazed over. Don't worry. Those were words that actually explain things you can do that are very straightforward and simple once you kind of get used to the lingo. But the remake, which is Deckers, the remake of Renegade, which is Deckers, which is what we're looking at, they basically toned that down a lot. So shout out to Ricky Royal for taking the feedback from the community and taking feedback from people talking about your game and saying, okay, fine, instead of calling it contaminant, I'll call it circle. Instead of calling it program, I'll call it square. And I was like, okay, thank you. That makes it much easier to kind of get into the game. I get it. It might take a little bit away from like the lore and the cyberpunkness, but it does make the barrier to learn a lot less brutal. So of course, hear me say all that, you guys can probably already tell my feelings about the overall gameplay experience, but it's a kind of a deck building game. You kind of form your deck as you go. And one of the things I liked about it was that when you buy cards from the area you buy cards from, you have to get rid of cards from your hand, like throw them out of the game. So you kind of have the same size deck the entire game. So you're kind of you're augmenting how your deck works, how your character works. And that's really fun. Follows basically pandemic rules where you're trying to make sure you don't get overrun by stuff, and you're trying to work together full co-op with everybody else against an ever-changing environment. Really cool stuff. I'm looking forward to getting a playthrough of this one so I can kind of compare it more hardcore to Renegade. That does mean that I need to do a playthrough of Renegade again, which is probably, I probably don't have to do a playthrough of Renegade. I just need to read through the rule book again of Renegade and then compare it to this one, which I kind of did on my unboxing. So yeah, looking forward to that one, I should say. Next is going to be Pirates of Maracaibo. Now, I have a story. This is kind of what inspired me to do this entire video of like things that I want to do coming up soon, but also I want to talk about a number of games at the same time so I can give you like little sprinkles of things as I go along. Pirates of Maracaibo, I did an unboxing of the expansions because I had the Bermuda expansion and the Commanders expansion. So I did a video where I unboxed the Commanders expansion, I did a video where I unboxed the Bermuda expansion, and then I did a video in the Bermuda expansion, which is like a small deck of cards, where I did a full organization video. It was like an hour and a half long. It was this whole thing. And I couldn't post it. The reason why I couldn't post is because language is essential, reading is essential, and I said Pirates of Maracaibo? I think is what I said, Pirates of Maricopa the whole time. And listening to it, knowing that it's supposed to be pronounced Maracaibo, that bothered me enough to where I say, you know what, I can't post any of these videos. I can't post any of these unboxings. It's just dead. It's dead to me. I have the game all packaged in here, all that fun stuff. So now that I've done this entire video that I can talk about it, you now know that there's at least 2.5 hours of videos that you will never see because I couldn't pronounce Maracaibo. It wasn't I couldn't pronounce it, was I mispronounced it the whole entire time. Okay, so this game is a nice little kind of, I don't want to call it a race game, where you're trying to go from like point A to point B before your opponents to score more points before they end the game before you do. It's an interesting game. You're trying to like build your tableau, you're trying to upgrade your ship, you're trying to, you know, battle your opponents, you're trying to battle the game, and try to like, you roll dice, push your luck, and then get treasures. And there's a number of different pathways to try to get to a victorious condition. And I've seen a number of them work because I have played this game a lot on Board Game Geek. Board Game Arena. Sorry, not Board Game Geek. I have played this game a lot on Board Game Arena. And I've seen a few strategies work that I thought, no, that's not going to work. And it just worked because the person had all the right things in all the right places. So, of course, my score went down. Ha! Get it? This is the lyrics from the song. Okay. But jokes aside, though, it is a lot of fun with this game, and I do have the neoprene mat for it and everything. I got all the bells and whistles, and I'm ready to do a playthrough of this one. I do need to go back and relearn the game. I do also need to go back and learn how the solo works, so I can actually do a competent solo playthrough. Because, like I said, I played a lot on Board Game Arena, so it took care of a lot of the rules overhead, and then I also haven't played this game in a long while. So, Pirates of Maracaibo, not Maricopa, Pirates of Maracaibo is a game that I'm also looking forward to kind of throwing up on to a solo playthrough and getting a video out for y'all eventually. We'll see when that happens. And the last game in our marathon list. Man, look at that. We're under 30 minutes. Heck yeah. Just kind of getting on the program here. We have oh my gosh, okay. I don't think I've had to pronounce this out loud yet until now. Actually, no, did I do an unboxing of this? I don't think I've done an unboxing of this, but anyway. Helionox? Helionox. There we go. We did it. We know phonics. That's right. Don't cognitively surrender, y'all. Try it. Just try it. You might butcher it, you might mispronounce it, but try it. Let your brain exercise. All right. Helionox Chronicles is a game that I've done a few playthroughs of off camera. And I kind of enjoyed the experience. Like, I think the loop that this game is doing was pretty interesting. And I really want to like get a few more playthroughs in to kind of flesh it out, make sure I fully understand the rules. Also make sure I'm not screwing anything up. And then I also want to try to do a few playthroughs. I say a few because it's kind of like a campaign style. Like you go from mission 1 to mission 2 to mission 3. And that's kind of like your campaign playthrough with your characters. But I do want to kind of see how it evolves, because it does unlock new things as you go from mission 1 to mission 2 and mission 2 to mission 3. And that sounds like a lot of fun. So this one is a co-op game, and there's no fancy things to look at, just words. You essentially have a few different locations that you're trying to manage the situation pandemic style. And I say pandemic style not to say it's a pandemic-like game. Actually, I take it back. It is a pandemic-like game. But you're trying to manage the crises that are happening, and trying to, like, you know, do this one, and then that one's falling apart. So now you got to go over here and deal with that one. Then you got to go over here and try to prevent this one from becoming a big situation. And you're kind of juggling, spinning all the plates, I think is what people call it. Trying to keep them all afloat. But I do like the artwork a lot. And apparently this game was a remake from a Kickstarter of a game by the same name that didn't have Chronicles out there, so it's just Helionox. Wait, what did I say? Helionox? Sure. And the Board Game Geek forums were popping for a little bit. People were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this game came back. Yes, bring it back, woo! So that made me a little bit hyped about the game too. But I don't think I've heard much talk about this game since then. To be fair, I haven't been searching, but I will be trying to get this one relearned and played up here soon. So, okay. And that was it. So we are through all the games. So here's my, everything's in chaos over here now. Here's the other view showing all the games. Of course, Helionox is the last one, and then Pirates and all the other games are just kind of strewn about. In total, these games are games that I want to try to get playthroughs of on the channel. I do have some ambitions to try to get all of them done, but I'm not that motivated to get all of them done. I think the hardest one to probably get table is probably going to be Mage Knight for me, because it's like, I mean, it was fun for that weekend, but I don't know if it's actually a game I enjoyed. And then World Order is going to be a tall order to try to get back on the table, because I really want to try to get a 4-player game in that one, but we'll see. But outside of that, all the other games kind of have an equal chance to kind of hit the table. So if you don't see Mage Knight in 2 years, you know why. It's because I said, you know what, screw it, I give up. All right, so jokes aside, that's going to be it for this video. Please let me know which games you all are most excited to see be played of this list that I have here so far. I do have a number of other games that are on my shelf that I do not have in front of us, either because I have not thought about it or didn't think about it when I was pulling the games from my list, or I don't have any intentions of playing them. I can tell you right now that one of the games I have no intentions of doing a playthrough on stream would be Role Player. I have all of Role Player. And it's not Role Player Adventures, but all of Role Player, I have no intention of playing it on stream because it's like, it's an okay game. It's just an okay, I can tell you right now, it's an okay game. I enjoy playing it digitally. It's fun when I play with friends physically, but it's like, it's an okay game. And I do want to try out the expansion and see how that goes, but that's not a share with the world thing for me personally, because it's like, it's just okay. So that's how I feel about that one. And some other games, oh yeah, Imperial Assault. I will probably never do a playthrough of that because I don't know if I can commit to another campaign playthrough. And Mr. President, yeah, I will never play Mr. President on stream because somebody's already done it. They've done it better. Check out Edward's video on Heavy Cardboard if you want to see how Mr. President plays. Really great video series, pretty long video series, but boy, did they have a lot of fun and boy, did they do the darn thing. Okay, so that's it. All my shout outs, all my different things to talk about. Oh yeah, Slay the Spire, the board game. I'll never play through that physically. Maybe Slay the Spire, the board game 2. I might consider Downfall. But I don't know if I'll play Slay the Spire, the board game on stream, because it's like, it's just the video game with a few less steps. I don't know. That's not entirely true. It's co-op. Co-op actually changes the game a lot. I understand, but that's not the point. Before everybody gets mad about what I just said, I just want to clarify. I understand that the co-op changes the game a lot. I understand. Anyway, moving on. So that's going to be it for the video, though. Let me know, like I said, if there's any games that you're particularly excited about seeing, and I'll try to see if I can bring it up closer to the front of the list. And yeah. Thank y'all very much for joining me here on my less than an hour video. Man, I let myself down. I was kind of hoping to get closer to an hour. You know, I can just keep rambling for like 20 minutes. No, I'm not gonna do that. All right. But like I said, thank y'all very much for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed it. And as always, I will see you all whenever.